the United States, men's and women.
Yeah.
They survived. They got the gold medal.
Yeah.
I mean, barely? Can we say that? Can we really say barely?
I think we could say barely because we are so used to dominating in the basketball world, and especially the women and the men. And when you talk about the Olympics, the women ain't lost an Olympic game, and we can't even remember the last time they lost. But this was the first time they've really been tested. And the men, they were tested, you know, they were testing in the semi just to get to the final game to play for the gold medal. So I think, you know, we've talked about this, I think, in certain arenas when we've been around with other guys that, you know, the international game of basketball is starting to catch up to the United States. And we all think it's for one reason, because they're so much more fundamentally sound than we are. And I think sometimes we have to go back to the basics, you know, when it comes to basketball. And I think this was a real good lesson, you know, for us when you look at the Olympic Games. You know, if it wasn't for, you know, the heroic games, you know, the two heroic games that Steph Curry had, we probably would have been playing for a bronze medal. You know, he came in the Serbia game and just, you know, we're 11 down or 15 down in the fourth quarter. 13. We end up winning that game, you know, because of Steph hitting 36 points. Yeah. And then in the final game against France, he hit, you know, another 6 or 7 threes, you know, for us. So I think we could definitely say barely, you know, Kid J, because we did. We barely, you know, won the gold medal, but you know, barely counts. You know, I mean, when you win it, you win it. And no matter how many points it is, if it's 1 point or 100 points, at least we won the gold medal.
Now, you said Steph Curry carrying us. Do you think he deserved the MVP?
You know what, I thought about that, and I think the MVP is always based on the body of work that you did for the whole Olympics, not just the last 2 games. So if I have to go with that, I think LeBron deserved to get MVP, but you know, he probably want to share that with Steph.
Right?
Because Steph was like, look, man, let me just take over these last 2 games. But when I look at the whole Olympics and some of the things that LeBron did in those first 3 or 4 games, you know, to get us to those last 2 games to win it, you know, he kind of carried the load. You got to give him a lot of credit. And at his age, to still be able to perform and play the way he's been able to play is remarkable.
Now you mentioned something like, you know, the rest of the international is catching up to the United States. Now, could that attribute to the international rules versus the NBA rules?
I think it has a little bit to do with it. Yeah. I really do. I think the international rules are a little bit different, obviously, than the NBA rules. International players, well, the NBA, let's go back even a little bit more, Kid J. The NBA has changed their rules over the last 15, 20 years. Yeah. As you know, when we played back in the 80s, the NBA was such a physical, big time basketball game. Yeah. You know, you get, you know, if you went in the paint, you getting hit, period. You know, and I think what David Stern did before he passed, and God rest his soul, and Adams, you know, Silver is still doing right now, is they've tried to open the NBA up more so, and I think that only benefited the international players because that's what they were used to. They're not used to banging and, you know, and just grinding type of basketball. They're used to a much more freer flowing basketball game, so you're not playing that physical style. So you have so many guys now that's coming over from the international game, and they're adapting to the NBA game so much easier because it's a lot like what they're used to playing. You know, so I think the rule change has definitely helped the international players be able to come over here and not only adapt, but some of them are coming over here and dominating, you know, in certain aspects. You know, they're dominating the game.
Now, you said physicality. I'm going to take you back to your coaching days when you were in New Jersey. Did you intentionally foul Shaq to send him to the free throw line in the NBA Finals?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Listen, we couldn't stop him. We couldn't guard him. You know, we couldn't guard him. We couldn't guard Kobe.
All right,
you know what I'm saying?
I just wanted to hear it.
It was one of those things where you said, look, man, look, I got 3 centers over here. I got 18 fouls. This dude is 7'1", 290 on record, 290. He probably was 300. Yeah, 320. You know. But Diesel was so damn good. Yeah. And he was so strong. Even when we would double team and he would kick it back, the next thing he would do, he would just bang you back in and they throw it in. Now he got both feet in the paint and you can't double. It's too late, right?
That drop step was so vicious.
And you couldn't do nothing with it. Yeah. You know, so I had to go to the point where I was like, look, man, when he just catches, foul him. Because if we don't foul him, he's getting 2. He's getting the dunk. He's got the jump hook. He's got the little turnaround. Yeah. Right? Like you said, and that drop step was just a dunk. So if we foul him, worst case scenario, he's going to hit 2. But best case, he's going to miss at least 1 of those free throws. So we at least saved something, right? We got a chance. So hell yeah, I fouled him on purpose. A lot.
Yeah. Okay. I know I sidebarred off the Olympics for a second. I just had to get that out right real quick. Okay, going back to the Olympics. There's some players on the Olympic team that have been there for a while.
Yeah.
LeBron. Who's our next batch of Olympic players? We were talking about, you got Anthony Edwards is brand new.
Yeah.
Who's coming in?
Well, I like Anthony Edwards. I think, Devin Booker,
Jason Tatum,
Jaylen Brown, who wasn't on the team.
He wasn't on the team, but they took Devin White, though.
Yeah, which I didn't understand that either.
Defense.
But I understand the defensive part, but Jaylen Brown's not a bad defender.
Yeah, that's true.
And he can go get it. You know what I mean? So I think, he is definitely the next on that list when you start talking about some of these guys that are up and coming.
Zion Williamson.
I think he has to stay healthy and prove first, that he can play a whole year and be effective. But Brandon Ingram, guys like that. I think Jalen Brunson.
Is he too small?
No. I think the international game fits him just perfect. Because of the way Jalen Brunson's he's a little pit bull anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He can take pounding, and when you're talking about the Olympics, there's really no pounding.
Yeah.
So you got another guy that can go get it. He can get you buckets, and he's also a very good facilitator. But I think there's a number of young guys that are in the NBA right now that would be great for the for the Olympic team.
Can I throw another name out there? And the reason why I'm gonna throw this name out there is because of Wemby, because France made it to the finals.
Yeah.
And we know he's going to be a very difficult player for years to come.
Mm-hmm.
Chet Holmgren.
I knew that was the name you were thinking about. Bring in another 7'4", 7'5" guy that can match up with him.
Exactly. So, because this past year, it was all about those matchups between Chet and Wemby.
Yeah. And I think that's going to be a great matchup, for years to come.
Yeah.
Because I think both of those guys are going to get stronger.
Yeah.
Both of them got unbelievable skills for 7'4", 7'5" guys, because Chet, he can put it on the floor. He can shoot it from three. He can do everything Wemby do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that is not a bad name at all. I think that name is a name that the Olympic Committee will definitely take a look at after especially seeing, how Wemby played and how France were able to, get the Olympic team so much problems.
Now, France being in the gold medal match, we're talking about Wemby. How good is this guy? I mean, is this guy going to be one of the best players we've seen in a minute in the NBA?
I think so.
Yeah.
Kid J, I think so. I want to get your opinion because you've seen a bunch of these guys, but I really feel in 3 years, maybe 3 years top, Wemby will be the best player in the NBA.
Wow.
I really think that. I think, he's going to continue to get better. And from what I hear, word around NBA locker rooms is this kid is driven.
Mm-hmm.
He works extremely hard. And those are two of the most important, components that you need to be successful and be one of the best, right? So he already has those two things along with just unbelievable talent and athleticism and skills on the basketball court. And I think the sky's the limit for him. So I give this kid like 3 years, and I think he's going to be the best player in basketball.
Is he kind of changing the game? Are these 7'4" guys changing the game right in front of our very own eyes?
Well, I think they're changing the game just like Steph did.
Yeah.
Magic changed the game when he came at 6'9".
Yeah.
You've never seen a point guard like this. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
So he changed the game along with Larry Bird. They came in at the same time. They just changed the whole landscape of the NBA. They put the NBA back on the map. Then MJ comes. You never seen anybody this athletic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, athleticism now is a norm, with these players today. Then Steph comes, who's not very athletic, but oh my God. We've never seen anybody shoot the ball like this, right?
Yeah.
And now you got Wemby and Chad. You got 7'5" guys that can bring the ball up the court. It started with Giannis, the Greek freak at 6'11", rebounding 3-4 dribbles, dunking the ball, right? And now you got Wemby and Chad who are almost in that same mode. So you got another set of guys who are coming into this league, changing the way this league is going to be perceived again. It used to be a big man game, then it went down to a small man game. It used to be everybody want to start from the inside out, and now everybody's talking about outside in.
Outside in.
Now you got these two guys who can do both. Again, they're going to change the perception of the way the NBA is looked at again.
Thank you for watching Byron Scott's Fast Break. If you like what you saw, here's some more videos. And while you're at it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.